You can spot it instantly. The difference between someone performing adulthood and someone who actually lives it. It's not in the beard or the bank account. It's in how he carries himself when no one's watching. The boy slouches through life, always slightly distracted, always needing applause. The man? He stands up straight, listens more than he speaks, and leaves every room better than he found it, without announcing it on Instagram. And here's the twist. This isn't just about men. Because the etiquette I'm about to share, it applies to all of us. Elegant behavior is universal. It doesn't care about gender, status, or how many followers you have. It's about how you move through the world. So today, we're decoding the subtle habits that quietly separate boys from men, and why mastering them makes anyone, regardless of age or gender, instantly more elegant. Let's begin, and I promise, by the end of this video, you'll never look at casual behavior the same way again. Number 1. Boys need to win the argument. Men know when to walk away. I once watched a grown man argue for 5 minutes, loudly, that croissants were invented in New York, in a Parisian cafe, with a French waitress. The horror, the elegant response, a quiet smile, a graceful exit, and the mental note, never trust someone who corrects locals on their own pastries. Elegance means knowing that being right isn't always the highest status move. Sometimes letting go is far more powerful, especially when you're about to declare war over baked goods. Number 2. Boys need attention. Men give it. We all know that person who can't survive dinner without turning every story into a one-man show. You mention you had a stressful week, and suddenly you're trapped in a 15-minute monologue about his startup, his meditation routine, and his kombucha cleanse that really changed everything. The worst version of this happened when I bumped into someone from my old school, someone I hadn't seen in over 10 years. He hit me with 5 questions in a row. Where are you living now? Are you married? Do you have kids? What do you do? Still into that writing thing? Except, he didn't pause long enough for me to answer even one. He just fired off the questions rapid fire and then answered them himself. About his apartment, his wedding, his kid, his job, and yes, his latest book idea. I could have been a lighthouse keeper in Norway and he wouldn't have noticed. Number 3. Boys seek power. Men create safety. This one gets subtle. A boy might raise his voice to prove a point. A man lowers his tone to create calm. He doesn't dominate a room by swaggering in. He makes space for others. He offers his seat without fanfare, opens a door without turning it into a performance art piece. He doesn't lead with volume. He leads with presence. And guess what? That energy translates beyond gender. Elegant people, full stop, make others feel safe. They aren't there to compete. They're there to elevate. Number 4. Boys perform. Men are consistent. Anyone can act elegant for 2 hours on a date. The real test? How they behave when no one's applauding. I once shared a taxi with a colleague who spent the entire ride giving the driver a turn-by-turn performance. Left here, slow down, now right, no, right. It wasn't helpful. It wasn't necessary. It was just exhausting. And it wasn't about getting there faster. It was about needing control, needing to be seen as in control. Elegant people don't need to direct traffic to feel important. Number 5. Boys blame. Men own it. Watch carefully the next time something goes wrong. A boy will default to deflection. It wasn't my fault. Nobody told me. Well, you should have. His ego treats mistakes like radioactive waste. Must be handled with gloves and flung onto someone else as fast as possible. A man? He owns it. Calmly. Directly. With dignity. It's about being accountable, even when it's mildly humiliating. Especially when it is. I once worked with someone who completely missed a client deadline. Instead of excuses or elaborate finger-pointing, he just said, "That's on me. No defense. Let me fix it." The room actually relaxed. People trusted him more after the mistake than they did before. That's the paradox of grown-up behavior. Owning your missteps doesn't shrink your status. It elevates it. In a world obsessed with image management, accountability feels revolutionary and incredibly elegant. Number 6. Boys take shortcuts. Men honor the process. You can spot shortcut energy a mile away. Cutting in line, because I'm in a rush. Ghosting instead of communicating. Only being kind when there's a witness. It's that habit of doing the bare minimum while expecting full credit. I once saw someone throw their coffee cup toward a bin, miss entirely, lock eyes with the spill, and just keep walking. Didn't even break stride. as if correcting his own mess would violate some unspoken rule of cool. Shortcut culture might look efficient on the surface, but elegance lives in the long way. The handwritten note, the thoughtful pause, the patience to do things well, even when it's mildly inconvenient. Number 7. Boys compete, men collaborate. This one shows up in conversation. A boy hears your story and immediately counters with his own. Louder, riskier, somehow always just slightly more impressive. You say, "I've started running again." He says, "Oh yeah? I ran a marathon last year. Barefoot. In the rain. For charity." It's not a dialogue. It's a decathlon. A man listens. He doesn't treat every exchange like a contest he needs to win. He builds on what you're saying instead of battling it. He shares the stage without acting like he's doing you a favor. And the same goes for women who carry real elegance. They're not performing superiority. They're creating space. Because true refinement doesn't need to one-up anyone. It lifts the whole room without making a sound. Number 8. Boys posture. Men are poised. Posturing is like cologne. If you can smell it across the room, it's too much. It shows up as over-explaining, name-dropping, weirdly aggressive handshakes, and that exhausting need to prove. I once watched a guy say, "I have a very high emotional IQ" during an argument. That's like saying, "I'm very humble." If you have to announce it, we all know it's a lie. Elegant people don't need to advertise their value. Their presence does the talking, and it speaks in complete sentences. Calm ones. With punctuation. Number 9. Boys need credit. Men give it. Have you noticed? They don't just deflect attention, they redirect it to elevate others. The chef, the intern, the person no one notices. Because when you lead with class, credit naturally follows. And the ironic part? Those who praise others tend to be the ones we admire most. It's not humble bragging. It's just grace in motion. Number 10. Boys break trust. Men protect it. Trust isn't just about big betrayals. It's showing up on time, keeping a secret, following through. Not gossiping just because someone handed you a silver platter of juicy detail. People raised with class treat trust like currency. You don't spend it carelessly. Elegant people know that the way you handle small confidences determines whether you'll ever be trusted with the big ones. Number 11. Boys need chaos. Men create calm. Here's the one that gets overlooked most. Watch what happens when plans change. A boy sulks, panics, or blames the nearest sentient being. A man adapts, elegantly. He says, "No problem, let's adjust." He doesn't huff, eye roll, or make everyone feel like the evening is ruined because the steak came medium instead of rare. That calm energy? That's the gold standard. It tells people, "You're safe here, we'll figure it out," and anyone can embody that. So yes, today's title may say, Boys versus Men. But really, this is about all of us. Because at the core, elegance is emotional maturity. Not for display, but by default. It shows in how we show up, especially when no one's watching. Now tell me, what's the subtlest behavior that instantly makes someone feel like a true adult in your eyes? Like, comment, and subscribe. And check out my Amazon storefront for elegant beauty and living essentials that whisper grown-up energy without shouting it. As always, stay classy. Manners matters.